Hello everyone. Another day of making videos, this time of journals. I'm done with the little boxes for now. And this journal is called Tulip and Friends. I got this beautiful book on tulips from Louise Fraser. And of course I took it apart. The cover is a cigarette card album from the 1920s. It measures 7 wide, 9.5 high by 1.25 inch spine. For those of you who are not familiar with cigarette card albums, here's one here. And it has all these little cigarette cards. These ones are eggs. These are exotic birds, different headgear. These cards I'll be taking out of this album and putting in my Etsy shop eventually. I've already done so with this one. I took this one apart, and on the cover it's a page from an old Victorian picture album. You can see it was oval. I fussy cut tulips, a ticket. Here was the index for the flowers. Half of a vintage doily. Here's a Tim Holtz pin that says a memento. It has 4 signatures. Excuse me. 456 pages. All the ephemera is original. I've used a variety of different papers. There are no digitals, but I've used a lot of dyed paper by Louise Fraser and some eco-dyed paper by Rosemary Morris throughout the journal. And these were push pins and from France, and I cut off the pin to put at the corner here in a little trim. So here's one image of that tulip book. It was just beautiful. The 4 signatures, the front is a fussy cut from Edith Holden book, vintage ledger paper. This ledger card, which is quite different, I just love the, if you can see the handwriting on it, and also how it's different with that little numbered tab. And it dates from 1916, and these I got from the junk journal shop. And this prescription, again, I love the image. I have it in one of the journals that I did yesterday, and there was no date on it, but this one, they date from 1890. This one has a date. Some Louise paper. Here's a vintage 1941 ledger, and where did I see there was a case of Coca-Cola. Here, 4 cases of Pepsi Cola, $3.20, which is not the case today. There's that Rosemary Morris, and we have the sun. Here's an envelope from France, from Marseille. Société Commerciale des Colonies Françaises. I just love it. And inside is a journaling card. This is a vintage French dictionary, and it was too wide, and I didn't want to cut the page, but I wanted to use it, so I folded it, and here in the back I've made a little pocket with some fussy cut, and here is the I made a journaling stick from the this is from the what do you call that, the dust jacket from that tulip book, and this is from a botanical book, and I just backed it with cardstock to make some journaling sticks. Some Louise paper right here, vintage ledger. Can you see that lace? Oh God, the details. Now the sun. I hope that won't be too. Here, I'm gonna move it here because I want you to see. This little green label here was on the inside of the front cover, and it's so tiny. I got out my magnifying glass, and this is what it says. J.H. Lake and Company, stationers and booksellers in Falmouth. That's probably England. It does. I'm sorry, because there's another little sticker coming up. This envelope I made. It was from the Tulip book. With an index card for journaling, of course. Lots of room for journaling. Isn't that gorgeous? Gorgeous. This ledger page is from 1941. Oh yeah, it's the other. Sorry, the same as the other. But on this one, it has the all the additions for the produce bought in February 1941, the total produce sold in February 1941. It's all from the adding machine. It's quite neat, and I'm not sure it was that color. I'm sure when it first came out. There we're back. Here's a pocket with a little bit of fussy cut vintage guest check. Isn't this gorgeous? The eco dyed, and I thought it went well with that. Just a cut off from a index card. Here's the Sussex Ginger Ale Limited Employee Association from Sussex, New Brunswick, where they made ginger ale. The second signature, Edith Holden, fussy cut. Here is from the Tulip book. It was from one of the first chapter. Here's the other part of that little doily, and in here I have an optical lens, and this I got from Patty Lang at Sacred Mementos, and is a dried pansy from my sister's yard, and I just backed it with it's a Tim Holtz. I just love that stuff. It's self-sticky, and it goes in that little pocket. Here's a vintage picture. Love it. Back in there, that Louise paper. This blue ledger paper I love. And again, I think that's from Patty Lang at Sacred Memento. Look at that. It's gorgeous, gorgeous. This is Old Montreal. It's a book that I found on Montreal. It's quite, it's down in the old market. You can see all the old carts selling their produce. Vintage ledger. The other side of that, trying to stay out of the sun. It's not working. Louise paper. Here is an envelope. It's a bill inside this tag. It's vintage. And inside I have Bank of Lakeview check from 1920s, and that's the stub for it. And that blue and that eco dyed, see how it goes well with that blue vintage. Was a date? I'm not sure there's a date on that ledger. Yes, here it is. 18, looks like 1816. Central Union envelope, and inside something. It's a little journaling card. In this pocket, I want to show the difference between today's guest check, which I did some fussy cut, and the vintage guest check. And this is a letter. It's dated 1965. When it's not old, I like to cover up the names. I did some fussy cutting and collaging. I just love the blue ink. You will see it's from the United States Navy. Yeah. Isn't this lovely? I think he's writing to his sweetheart. I'll put that back in there. And that's from that Tulip book. I made a pocket. Here in this pocket, fussy cut, and here is a Assignment of Judgment. It's dated 1904. This is credit memorandum from 1933 for a case of Welch grape juice, $2.70. The third signature from Edith Holden. Isn't that gorgeous? This ledger card, these come from Patty Lang's Sacred Mementos. And oh my god, I just tore my little envelope out. It's because it's so brittle. They must be old, but I'll change it. That's why I had put the vintage looking Scotch tape. But it's for a coin collector's envelope. There's coin, date, condition, description, purchase, the date, and how much they paid, and it purchased from, and then it says property of. And inside, I'll have to change that out. Oh. It's a Canadian penny, which is no longer in circulation. We no longer have pennies. So I'll change up that little envelope. This is an envelope that I opened up from France, where I get some of my French ephemera. Some fussy cutting. I love these tabs. I like when I can get them. And what I did is I put a long notepad with this clip at the top, a little bit of fussy cutting, another part of the, another dictionary page, and this one, some journaling sticks. I like how this one matches the print. Some Louise paper. This is a ledger page from 1892. And it's all about fabrics, buttons, yeah, hose, child suspenders. It's an interesting read. There on this side. See, this was, that little label was also in the inside cover. It says British made to hold 500 cards. And here's a journaling stick. And here's a playing card. I love those cards. I think I got those from Louise. Another notepad. So just a variety of different papers. This this glassine bag, which is, it's longer. I folded it, and there's the other. Oh Lord, there's the other part of it. We'll go there, and those bags were from Louise, and there she dyed that. So here's a journaling card inside that bag, on the other side of it. Whoop. And here is a journal voucher from a railway company, dated 1925. Norwood and St. Lawrence Railroad Company. Here in the in that part of the bag is a Rosemary Morris eco-dyed tag. Okay. Here are some receipts. 1934. It's all pastry from a baking company. And here is fish products from 1934 also. A receipt. Look at this dyed paper. Love it. The other side of that ledger card. Another vintage photo. Just love it. It's beautiful. You see a little boat on a lake or seaway, I'm not sure. Some paper. Here is from that Tulip book. I think I made a, yeah. And that's cut off from that yummy yellow ledger paper. And the final the fourth signature. Oops, I missed something here. Here I made a pocket with 1901, this ledger from 1901, some fussy cut, and in here I put 3 large journaling cards. And there's that yellow ledger, another vintage ledger. Look at that. Love it. See? Just love all the different textures. Here is a docket for civil case. Again, it's dated 1962. I think it's on the other side. Yeah, I covered up the name. It's not old enough, 1962. But in here, this is a greeting card with a squirrel by Glenn Lotz. He's a Canadian naturalist. I love his work. I have 2 of his books that are signed by him. And this is a waybill for Boston Main Railroad, and this is quite, it's quite long. A little bit of railroad ephemera. This is it's an inventory record. Voltage regulator must be electrical. There's no company name. It's different. On this side is a postcard. Just love it. I'm not sure there's a date. Nope, there's no date on it. Oh. Here's just a little journaling paper made with Rosemary's eco-dyed paper. Here is a 1939 receipt from Shelburne Falls, Massachusetts for a dozen of bread knives, $10.50, with a 50% coupon. There we go. There's that paper. Love it. Some fussy cut. Those ledger pages. Another pocket that I made from that Tulip. Here is just an envelope. It's dated January 29, 1896, but it was the handwriting. Love it. From Puerto Cortez. Here's a receipt from 1891 from Oakland, California. From the Fabiola Hospital. I found the history of the Fabiola Hospital. Built. It was. It's a women's group that put that hospital together for pregnant ladies. And another pocket. Here's a vintage airmail envelope with the vintage airmail paper. A guest check with some fussy cut. Here is a reel, and the pictures on this one, I wrote it here. It's the Jefferson Memorial. The Washington Monument, there's a vintage car. I think it's an Impala. I'm not sure because I'm not into cars. And here's the back of the journal. And there we go. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.